So we are seeing what we are witnessing today in India is an extraordinary wave of corruption. And this movement called India Against Corruption is the extraordinary response of the people of India to this situation. And we are here, as I said, to express our support to this movement. I will again draw upon Swami Vivekananda, from whom Anna himself draws inspiration. Vivekananda once declared that I hold every man a traitor who allows even a dog in this country to stay hungry. That was Vivekananda's level of compassion even for the animals of this country. But the question is, what have we done to India today? What is our level of compassion today? What is our level of sensitivity today to the problems of the people? When more than 250,000 farmers have committed suicide in this country, in regions of Vidarbha and Karnataka, what is our response to this genocide of farmers driven by negligence of a system that is so shallow and rotten with corruption? I think any other country, any other civilization, a civilized nation should take these, genocides of farmers, the suicides of farmers as a wake-up call. This insensitivity-driven system, I think we have reached a peak point, and this is what we see in this extraordinary response that Sri Anna Hazare has been receiving all over India through this movement called India Against Corruption. But I would like to make one thing clear. There is this misconception that corruption in India today is confined to politics alone. I think we should not be under this misconception. It is not just politics that we are talking about. Corruption today is all pervasive in every field. Let me give you a few examples. Scientists, for example. Do you mean to say that science in India is not corrupt? Scientists who go on organizing seminar after seminar, preaching to us about the benefits of genetically modified seeds, when farmers are committing suicide, when there are people dying of starvation in this country. Is this not ideological corruption at the level of science also? So India Against Corruption is a movement which is meant to deal not just with the political corruption of politicians misusing public money that we are seeing today, but it is also meant to address corruption at all levels of Indian society, in our individual lives, in social lives, in our national lives, and in public life. What about policemen, let's say, who arrest protesters against corruption? Are they not also in a way morally corrupt? The attacks, the assaults that have happened on Baba Ramdev, and also the arrest of Sri Anna Hazare itself, it also shows that the whole system is something has gone wrong with the system. And we are here to express our concern that the system should correct itself. What about, let's say, wealthy citizens of this country, if I have to use a strong word, perhaps filthy rich citizens of this country who are hoarding their wealth in secret Swiss banks? Are they not also corrupt, more corrupt than the politicians whom we are talking about? So let us not confine this debate about corruption only to politics alone. We need to take this to a higher level. We need to address this issue at all levels of Indian society. In order to do that, each and every one of us has to understand the vision behind, this Jan Lokpal movement, this Jan Lokpal bill and the India Against Corruption movement. I would like to ask you, this huge crowd which has gathered here today, how many of you have read even the draft text of the Jan Lokpal bill 2011? Can you please raise your hands? Which has been posted on the internet. Okay. So there is still, it's a good number, I'm happy. But I would say that this movement should not be merely an emotional outburst. If it is an emotional outburst, it will be temporary, it will fizzle out. This movement has to be driven not only by emotion. Emotion is important. Emotion has all, brought us all together, but it should go beyond the level of emotion. It should go to the next level, at the intellectual level. It should be driven by a clear vision and a clear understanding of what we want to achieve. Are you clear about that corruption-free India, the vision of corruption-free India that we want to achieve? So each and every one of us has to do more than simply, let's say, expressing our support emotionally. We need to understand every level of this corruption and what we can do, what the Jan Lokpal bill can do, its scope and also its limitations. I would request all of you to spend some time going home today instead of spending on Facebook. If you could please go to the website of the India Against Corruption movement, indiaagainstcorruption.org, download the Jan Lokpal bill, the text of the PDF file of the Jan Lokpal bill, and please give it at least a cursory reading. This is my appeal to you today. The next point that I'd like to make to you is particularly to the younger generation. I want to appeal to the young men and women in Kuwait today to stand up and be counted. Shiv Khera says every generation has to earn its own freedom. The challenge that has been thrown in front of our generation today is the challenge of corruption. Can we stand up to this challenge? Can we prove to future generations that we will solve this problem and give them an India that is better than of our times? Imagine, look at our ancestors. When we look back to our history, let's say the freedom struggle. Suppose our ancestors had failed in the freedom struggle. If they had failed in achieving independence from the British rule in India, what would we be doing today? We would not be here expressing support for Jan Lokpal Bill. Perhaps we would be here fighting for our freedom still today. If you are proud of Gandhis and Nehrus and Vivekanandas and Aurobindos and Subhash Chandra Bose, it is because they stood up to the challenge of their times. They were willing to sacrifice. They were willing to do what is necessary to overcome the challenge that was presented to them of their generation. The question to the young men and women who are here today is, are you willing to do that sacrifice which is needed to solve this challenge of corruption? Can you answer this? Are you willing? A big yes. Thank you. So that is what is needed today, that we all of us must, steel our will, become determined to do what is necessary to overcome this challenge of corruption. So that future generations, our future generations, when they look back to our generation, they should not say as we do today, as we complain today to the generations of the 60s and 70s, and we always complain that the last 40, 50 years has been a waste, has been an economic waste in India, that our previous generation has failed us, that India has has missed many chances in the last 40, 50 years. India's potential as a civilization, as a nation, has been downgraded. We have been stunted because of many problems like corruption. Let us not allow our future generations to make that cynical comment about us. Let us do what is necessary to stand up to this challenge of corruption. Thank you. Vande Mataram.